Righto, today's little project behind me is a dryer. So this is another street bounty one. Just picked this up off the side of the road. Anyway, let's see what we get. We'll plug it in, see if we've got any signs of life, and see what the problems are. Oh, that's a good sound. That's a very good sound. Okay, so we've got signs of life here. All our press buttons seem to work. And if we press start. Alright, so I just press the power button again, and we've got airflow, but no drum rotation. So this makes me suspect, okay, it makes me suspect that we've got a stuffed fan belt. So I'll just turn that off. So that's a really good sign that we've got airflow, and I think it's going to be a pretty simple fix. Let's pull it apart and see what the problem is. Righto, so what you'll need is a 1/4 inch bit driver, and I've already pulled off all of these screws at the back. A few more to go, so there's a cover plate here and here, and a couple of screws holding this in, and we'll have a bit more of a look inside. Alright, always unplug things, make them safe. And we'll take these few remaining screws out. Okay, so lying this thing down, and you've got a nut that secures the drum to the back for stability. All you need is a good old shifter, lefty loosey. Take that off. Alright, and you've also got to take out the heating element here, which I've unscrewed, and there's a tiny little, there you go, there's a plug on the side that will just pop off like so. Just a plug there. You're going to need that, put that somewhere safe. Just remember, all these edges are very sharp. Pop that out. I'm doing this one-handed, so it'll be easier with two hands. Pop off the funnel, and what do we find? Exactly what I suspected, a busted belt. So let's pull that out, and you can see that this belt is pretty stuffed. So we'll go and order a new belt and replace it, and hopefully the only other thing that can go wrong with these is the start capacitor down there. So assuming the start capacitor is okay and all it needs is a new belt, this will be a very simple fix. Now, to find out the model number, just need to open up the door, and you can see the drums falling out the back there. That's alright. So this is what we're looking for, EDV505. So we need to take that number and go back inside and use that to find a new belt. Okay, so all you need to do, open up eBay, search for Electrolux EDV505 belt, and you got a range of options here, but this is the kind of thing that we need. There we go. Click on buy it now, and you're done. And a few seconds later, flip that open, and what do we get? One belt. Now you can pick, you don't have to pick the one that is specifically for an EDV505. You can pick any belt that is 10mm ribbed and 1930 millimeters long, 1930 millimeters. It is stamped on the back of the Electrolux belt, which I'll show you. And here we go, 1930 mil, 7pH 1930. So that's the one you want, and let's go and change it on the dryer. You can see in my enthusiasm to make this video, I was playing with this a little bit too quickly. This is the inside of the tumble dryer, by the way. Close that door so we don't break it. And all we want to do is to lift this up and slot this in. You can hold it by the back thread. Put this belt on. Now, you'll notice that the way that this has to go on is the ribs have to bite into the ribs on the motor itself. And the reason that the fan was running is because the back of the motor is connected to the fan. The fan is in there, and there's no belt, So it's a direct drive fan, that's why the fan was operating and the drum was not. Righto, so basically the way that the belt path goes, you can look for the dust ring, and we'll see if we can see one here. Just unclip my Osmo Action 4, which I'm absolutely loving, by the way, as a replacement. See there's the dust ring there in the drum. So that's where, a bit hard to see because it's reflective, but that's where the belt path needs to go in the dust ring. How good is that? That clip-in magnet is just fantastic. Okay, so basically the rib, this part of the belt, goes against the drum. So wiggle it down, keep a bit of tension on it so that there's no kinks in the drum, in the belt, sorry. Wiggle it down, and we know that this has to rotate around like so. Until it's on the motor armature and in the center of the pulley, just like that. And you can see that as I rotate that, the motor also rotates. Now we want to just pull this belt down. It's a little bit high because it'll self-center. But now's the time to do it. Yeah, it's a little bit high. I'm just working that down with my thumbnails a little bit. Making sure that it's on the center of the armature. That's pretty good. That's pretty much running perfectly in line with the old rub mark on the belt. Now, time to reassemble. Need to make sure we can access this, which is for the heating element. This tube there also needs to line up with this tube here. And just put your hand through where the heating element goes, lift up the drum, and voila. Now, of course, because I'm talking and not thinking, I didn't put that in, so I've got to slide the power cord in. Now, first thing that goes on, got the washer, got the spring, got the nut. Now this doesn't need to be crazy tight. There we go, that's enough. And I'm just going to put a couple of screws in around the perimeter here, just to hold this in place. And you saw that there's basically nothing in these dryers. It's almost criminal that they charge what they do. Now, I don't want to drop those because then I'll lose all of those. So I'm just going to put a few of these in just to hold this in place, just so that we can test this. And I've just got my cordless drill on the very, very lowest clutch setting. I'm not going to put every screw in, just at least. Yep, I keep dropping them. I've got a handful here. Okay, that should be enough. Righto, now comes the drying element. Make sure that's plugged in. I've given this a blowout with some compressed air. There you go, that drops back in. Lock that back. Now I'll show you what I've done. I'm just rotating this by hand on the inside just to make sure it's clean and free. Yeah, it's not too bad. There's a fair bit of crap in here, but anyway, let's plug it in, see if we've got signs of life. Now I'm pretty hopeful that this is all the problem was. Power on. All we want is go to airing, which uses the least amount of heat. Blah 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 blah. Don't worry about any of that. Just press it. Haha! Look at that. Got nice airflow coming out of the cooling vent. Perfect. So I'll let this run for 5 or 10 minutes or so. And you can see at the back here, there's our drum rotating. I'll put the covers back on and Bob's your uncle. And there's our heating element. Don't touch any of this. It's got live power. And away we go. Easy fix. There, last step, pop this on. That's just a diverter, so you can divert the fan from the front to the back. If you want to rear-flue it externally, you can do that. Again, now that this is all assembled, just go to normal, 30 minutes. Got a nice airflow coming out the front there. Nice drum rotation, very smooth, pretty quiet, and so it says this is a 5 kilo unit, and already you're starting to get warm air at the front. Perfect. All right, this one's ready for sale.